Hello, my name is Dr. Frederick Covington, and I'm an occupational therapist. Today, we'll be discussing visual discrimination. Now, the medical definition of visual discrimination is that it's the ability to determine exact characteristics and distinctive features among similar objects or forms. Now, let's take a moment and we're going to break this down. Visual discrimination lets us see differences between objects that are similar. Good visual discrimination helps keep us from getting confused. Individuals who have visual discrimination disorders often mix up letters or numbers and have difficulty reading or completing written math problems. Now, there are several ways in which people may experience difficulty with visual discrimination. So, let's take a look at a few. Now, one could have difficulty with vowel discrimination. For example, a student who does not note the difference between words like went and want, ride and rode, or horse and house. One could also experience difficulty with consonant discrimination. This person may confuse words such as then and when, would and could, and ever and even. One could also experience difficulties with reversals. For example, there could be confusion with was and saw, big and dig, and spot and stop. And lastly, one could experience problems with additions and omissions. This is evident in such word discriminations as our versus your, ever versus every, or though versus through. We also have to look at the role of visual discrimination in mathematics. Now, coming up with numbers and mathematical concepts relies foremost on the ability to distinguish between different number symbols. As with letters, several numbers are similar in formation, such as 6 and 9, 3 and 8, 1 and 7, and 2 and 5. For example, many young children can respond appropriately when asked, what is 3 plus 1? However, many of these same children could not complete a basic math worksheet where the same question is asked in writing, 3 plus 1 equals. Now, this is because children with weak visual discrimination skills cannot properly distinguish between all of the numbers. Now, double-digit numbers also pose a unique visual discrimination challenge for children. When facing a double-digit or triple or quadruple-digit number, a child must not only identify the numerals correctly, but also process them in the correct order from left to right. For example, 18 and 81 represent very different amounts, and 705 and 507 are very different times of the day. Now, let's take a real-life example. Melanie is a middle school student. She's always very quiet in class because she doesn't want to call attention to herself. This quiet demeanor is because she doesn't want to be called on when the class is reading aloud or going through written math problems aloud. The last couple of times that the teacher did call on her resulted in her classmates snickering and giggling at her because she was making mistakes while reading. Now, the passage that she was reading actually read, "Then I would follow the big sign." However, the way that she read it aloud was, "When I could follow the dig sign." Here, we can see that her visual discrimination difficulties are in consonant discrimination and reversals. Now, this leads to frustration and self-doubt, as well as Melanie struggling to understand why the sentence didn't make sense. The combination of all of this results in a hesitancy to try reading, which in turn leads to failing academics. Now, there are a couple of symptoms that may indicate a problem in this area. Say someone may often not notice likenesses and differences of vowels and consonants in words. One may display reversals or omissions or additions in their reading. Another symptom is that they may have had initial trouble learning the alphabet and recognizing words. Also, one may mistake words with similar beginnings or endings. And lastly, one may have trouble writing letters and numbers and remembering them. Oh, and one more. One may have difficulty recognizing the same word again when it's repeated on the same page. Now, as always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to send me an email or leave your comments here. And as always, take care, and we'll be seeing you next time.